What's up, guys? Nick here, back from Sessions Motorsports. Today we have a pretty sweet walk around video of Sam's awesome 4-seat buggy that we put together. So this buggy is kind of based off our Wrath chassis. It's very tailor built to his needs, so it's going to be different than any of the other ones that you've seen that we've done in certain ways, but we try to do that for all of our customers, where we really try and listen to your needs, where you wheel, where you live, and cater the car to you. One thing that makes this 4-seater so awesome, as you'll see when we start to get around it, is it's literally like a do-everything machine. Like, this thing's got horsepower, tires, big axles, lots of clearance, lots of wheel travel. It has a really awesome drivetrain. So let's go ahead. And how this project started is Sam had a sweet old CJ and loves CJs. And so he called me up and we talked about putting together a 4-seater for him and his family. And he already had a set of axles that he had put together. And so he had started with an 05 and up Superduty front end, which we'll look at here in a minute, and a 14-bolt rear end. And he had already had them geared, which I believe they have 538 gears and Detroit lockers, both front and rear. But he had already done the gearing in the axles and fully rebuilt them. And then he had put the TMR trusses on them. And so he brought those out. This car lives out in Arizona, and he brought those out from Arizona for us. And that's all we started with. We started with just the axles for this already set up with the TMR trusses, and then we went ahead and built it the way that you see it now. This car's been done for a couple of years, and it's been wheeled all over the place, from all over Arizona, Moab, Sand Hollow, Trail Hero, the Hammers. It's been all over the place, and it gets used a lot, but he takes really good care of it. He's got 2 sets of body panels for it, and so this is kind of the nice set of panels with this sweet paint job on it, and then he's got another set of panels that he puts on, and we'll insert some clips in this video to show you this thing out in the wild as well. So let's go ahead and dive into the build, and we'll just start right up here at the front. To get the CJ look, we actually started with an OEM steel CJ hood, and we went ahead and we cut it and narrowed it, and we built these highline fenders into the hood. This is also an OEM new replacement steel CJ grill that we started with here, that we cut down, narrowed up, we channeled it up this way, filled the turn signals in, and made it kind of fit this buggy. And then obviously you can see right here on the front of the frame, it's got this nice 9.5R Smitty built winch and this rigid light right here. Let's go ahead and look at the front axle while we're right here. So it is an 05 and up Super Duty front end. The beauty of these is they have the big boy 1550 axle shafts. This does have the reed knuckles, and then it has the busted knuckle ball joint delete kit on it. You can also see it's got the PSC full hydraulic steering, the dual ended ram, and then of course our signature 7075 tie rods here. And then go ahead and, again, like always, kind of pay attention to ride height, up travel. You can see how much up travel this thing has sitting here. We're out on the trail right now, so it's sitting a little bit skewed, but this thing's set up to go fast through the bumps because it spends a lot of time in the desert as well. So speaking of shocks, it has awesome ADS 2.5 coilovers all the way around, and the fronts are a 14-inch travel and the rears are a 16-inch travel. With a mounted behind axle centerline like this gets about 15.5 inches of wheel travel in the front, and when we get to the back's spicy. It gets 22 inches of wheel travel back in the back. So as you can see, this kind of has a unique belt line. We tried to kind of create some style of this thing and give it some room in the back, but it's a little, like I said, we're out on the trail, so it's a little skewed, but this thing sits about 74 inches tall when it's like sitting on your garage, right? Like sitting at ride height. So it sits low, but you'll see later in the video, I have a ton of room in the back of this thing. And so the wheelbase of this is a 115-inch wheelbase. The tires, you can see, are 43 SX stickies, and you can tell how much this thing gets wheeled if you just take a look at the tire and the rings. It's on Raceline Wheels, 20-inch Raceline Wheels. On the back, what's really cool, and this is quite challenging for a 4-seater, is to fit a full-size 36-inch wide bench, also with a trailing arm suspension. And so again, this has 16-inch 2.5 ADS shocks on a trailing arm setup, all fabricated by us. And then go ahead and check out how much up travel this bad boy has at ride height. This thing has 22 inches of vertical travel in the back, full range with the normal drive shape. Another thing that's really cool in the back of this thing is, to kind of go with that CJ vibe, we actually took a real Jeep tailgate and we cut it down and fabricated it in to be this little tail panel to still have that Jeep. And then it has our classic, we do a lot of these racks, they're custom to each build. but they give you a sweet pot to put a cooler. And then underneath the rack, this has a 18-gallon fuel tank with a factory GM in-tank fuel pump. Very important. We always try to use an OEM in-tank fuel pump for the reliability. They're quiet, they last forever. One thing that's cool about this tank is it has this snowmobile style gas cap right here that shows you how much fuel is in it, so you don't necessarily need a gas gauge. While we're looking at the back, go ahead and zoom in on the back here, and you can see all of the panel work that we did to enclose the rear of the vehicle. So it has a rear firewall, you know, a fully done floor, all the enclosure around the shocks right here. So you're safe, your kids are protected, they're away from all the shocks. Go ahead, another thing that's cool about this is the roof. It has the C-deck lined on the roof here, just for sound insulation, heat, and it obviously just makes a nice touch. This runs PRP Comp Elite seats, and then PRP built a rear bench to match the front seats. Sam's wife picked the colors for this thing, and I love the purple and the gray, and I love the little hint of yellow. I think they did a great job. I love the colors on these. We tried to make the interior roomy, comfortable, usable, still having good visibility. So we built this very simple aluminum dash that we fabricated on here, and you can see it's got the Holley 7-inch screen in it, and then it's got the switch panel over there that controls everything else on the car. One thing that's cool is this thing has like a lot of amenities that a lot of people don't put. So it has dome lights, has a stereo, you know, it's got a lot of cool little stuff that makes this thing a super, like, it's very enjoyable out on the trail for a long period of time. Excuse me. While you're looking in here, we've got this Willwood handbrake, so for having a little fun in the back and for doing front digs. In between the seats right here is the Atlas shifter, and then of course it has a winter sidewinder shifter right here. Other than that, that's pretty much it on the interior. We've got a pretty cool dead pedal, and it has these Lexan firewall pieces in there, so to keep the engine heat out, but in the same point to allow you to look down and see where that tire's at. Dead pedal for the passenger, and then a sweet grab handle right here for the passenger to hold on to. And again, it's a simple interior, but it has kind of everything you need and nothing you don't. It's got these sweet sun visors from CarTech. These things are really cool. If you guys haven't seen these, you can put them anywhere you want, and then they just fold up and they latch and they don't rattle and they don't make any noise, and they're 100% out of the way. Let's go ahead and we'll pop the hood on this thing and talk about the drivetrain. All right, guys, so for the motor in this thing, it has one of my favorite engines. We've used this engine quite a bit. This engine is a lot of bang for the buck. So it's a Blueprint 400 cubic inch crate motor. It's aluminum heads. It literally only weighs 430 pounds without the front drive accessory on it, and then that's also without an intake. So altogether, it's about a 500-pound engine. So it's lighter than a 5.3 or a 6.0, a little bit heavier than like an LS1 or an LS2 and all aluminum LS. But what's so sweet about this engine is 525 horsepower and 525 foot-pounds of torque. Runs on 91 octane, and it makes that torque like literally from 2,000 to 5,000 RPM, it makes over 500 foot-pounds of torque. So in a crawler, the torque is what you feel. And this motor, they're just reliable, man. This motor rocks. Like, it is such a sweet engine. We've used it quite a few times, and I love this little small block. They're powerful, they're fun, they sound sweet, they stay cool, and they're reliable. They've got kind of all the stuff. One thing that's really cool, if you kind of can sit back and look at how low the motor is in this chassis. So the motor is way down there. It's really low in the chassis, and it's really far back, way behind the axle center line. So to give this an awesome center of gravity, but also to give it that desert performance going through the bumps to help get the weight more centered and back in the car. So this thing has a lot of sweet setup going on under the hood. We did a front radiator because it's a 4-seater, but of course we used a Ron Davis radiator. So this has a big boy Ron Davis radiator with their big Spall fans. It also has a Mishimoto transcooler up here. You can see this air duct that we built on top of the grill, and so this takes all the air through the grill and forces it into that radiator, so none of it just goes around the radiator. The radiator, of course, is laid back and set at this angle to maximize the up travel for the front axle to travel up into the chassis. Some other notes about the engine compartment is it has a full Hydro Boost brake setup with the Willwood Master. And then we just upgraded the power steering pump on this. This has a full PSC setup, but this has PSC's new high pressure TC pump on it. And so it's another like 300 PSI over their standard full hydraulic TC style pump. It also has a 150 amp Power Waster alternator on it. One thing that's really cool about this is the exhaust. So this has a full custom exhaust system, and it's been sent out to Header Shield Products. And so it's fully coated all the way around. It also has a Canton baffled trapdoor oil pan, and that helps keep the oil at the pickup kind of at all the situations that you experience when you're out on the trails, you know, going down stuff, going up stuff, and being off camber. So let's go ahead and we'll talk about the rest of the drivetrain underneath. All right, guys, so now let's go ahead and we'll look at the rest of the drivetrain in this thing. So you can see down in here, the T-case in this is actually a race case Atlas. It's a 3.8 to 1. And then in front of that, this has a Maximum Off-Road full Ultra 4 spec Turbo 400. So it has a bulletproof combo sitting in this thing. You can also see from this angle the full header shield wrap exhaust. So what that does, guys, is, I mean, it like drastically changes the heat setup on this thing. So the radiant heat that comes off the exhaust tubing, it makes a huge difference. You can also see the drop of the floor. So right there's kind of where your feet are going to go. And you can kind of see the back of the chassis there, obviously the trailer mounts. And then this has a full Willwood brake setup on it to go with the Hydro Boost. And then some of the detail on some of the mounts. So you can see kind of that setup on there, the limit strap setup. But we'll go ahead and kind of do the rest of this thing and show you guys a little bit more. All right, guys, so as you can see, Sam's four-seater is, this thing is a pretty sweet four-seater. It's a true, like, go out and hit hardcore trails rock crawler, but it is a true, like, go out and bomb through the desert and get it done with 22 inches of travel in the back on a trailer arm setup. It's got good rear weight to keep the thing balanced. It doesn't want to buck through the whips. It's got an awesome drivetrain. 525 horsepower. It's got all that torque as well. Maximum transmission, race case Atlas. It's got bulletproof axles. It sits nice and low. It's got a nice low center of gravity. You can drive this car hard. You can drive it fast. One thing that's really cool about this project is, like I said, we did this about 2 years ago is when this car was brand new. And Sam has wheeled this thing a lot. But what's really cool is he takes exceptionally good care of this. He touches it up all the time when he scratches it. Like I said, he's got another set of sacrificial body panels that he puts on it when he's in the hard stuff and the rocks. But he takes really good care of this car, and that's why we have it right now, is we just did a bunch of maintenance. Little things like we just changed all the rod ends and all the links. We did all new plastic on the skid plate setup. This has got the classic AR400 lower skid. Everything's lined in UHMW. But like I said, this car gets used, man, and it goes everywhere. So at the same point, like, but you can, you know, if you take care of the thing and clean them up, they will stay this way for a really long time. That's one of the best parts about a buggy. Even if a guy smokes this body panel, the body panels are just a sheet of aluminum, you know, so it's a few hours worth of work, a little bit of paint, and she's back to looking brand new. But that's one of the best things about a buggy is you can kind of keep them really clean and use them really hard. But overall, this four-seater is, it's like if I was to have a four-seater myself, this is exactly what I want. Like, it's got the power I want. It's got the axles I want. It's got the drivetrain. It has the wheelbase. It's a do more than one thing vehicle. So it's something that, like, if you're in Sand Hollow and you don't want to just play on the hard rock trails and you want to go rip around the sand, you want to jump it, get in. Let's go. This thing has enough room, seriously, for 2 adults to sit in the back seat. So, like, you can take your friends, not just your kids. It's comfy. It's spacious. It's quiet. It kind of, you know, it fits all the bills, in my opinion. So I just wanted to show you guys this four-seater. We love this thing, and if you guys like this stuff, like and subscribe, and we'll keep putting it out. Hope you guys have a good one. Thanks.